Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Run Your Private Practice with AI. This week in the Clinical AI Club, we had our meeting the second Tuesday of every other month. I do like an AI 101 for the new members that aren't maybe that familiar with AI. And the same questions come up over and over, really. And one big one that therapists always ask me is like, how do I manage my inbox with AI? And it gets complicated, right? Because we have client information that comes in to our emails. If you're using your email inbox to be able to answer emails for your clients, some of us have like Proton Mail or something like that. Some of us use Gmail and, we get consent from our clients to be able to email them. So that poses a really big problem because there's tons of AI tools to manage your inbox, to, help you sort through that stuff. There's agents out there. There's somebody called Lindy. There's somebody called Fixer. Zapier, there's all kinds of tools that you can use to manage your inbox, but we can't, right? Because we're therapists, so it makes it a lot more complicated. So anyway, Clinical AI Club, they were asking me that same question. Of course, my answer is a lot of this stuff isn't HIPAA compliant, but those of you that do have an inbox that is maybe your business inbox, or if you're a coach like me and you have other things that you're doing, I don't have client information going into my main inbox. I have figured out a lot of really great solutions on how to manage that. But one thing I ended up showing the group, and I've talked about it before on this podcast, is how to use an AI enhanced browser. So I'm starting to see these pop up a lot, different, gosh, I can't even think of the names of all of them. There's a bunch of them because I'm on a lot of email lists and that sort of thing. There's a bunch of them popping up that you can use. But one that I found, and I've talked about it before on this podcast a little bit, is the Perplexity comment browser. So you literally go to perplexity.ai. Perplexity is just another one of these large language models, but it's agentic, right? So there's a couple of different places, like Manus is agentic, Perplexity is agentic, Claude is starting to get there. There's different ones, and this is happening this year, I feel like. I read an article recently that said like 2026 is going to be the agentic year for AI, meaning everything we use is going to have like an agent running in the background that can help us and do things for us. But the main one I've been using is this Perplexity browser. And in this AI 101 that I did live with the Clinical AI Club members earlier this week, I was like, let me show you how to use this browser. I mean, this is super like advanced, but it's also becoming AI 101. And it's one of the tools I use every day in my business constantly. Everything I do on my computer, I've got the Perplexity browser open on a sidebar, and it's like helping me with everything that I do. So I thought, it'd be fun to go through what I showed them in the AI Club yesterday, just using my Perplexity browser, but also I'm just going to go through my history and let you guys know exactly how I'm using this browser because I want to give you some ideas around it. Again, no PHI, right? So you don't want to use this browser and have Simple Practice open in the background. I'm not talking about using this for client data at all because I don't know. I mean, there is an enterprise level of Perplexity, and you could probably check into that. And there probably are browsers coming that are going to be HIPAA compliant that we can use. But for right now, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to just do it for business things, social media, marketing, blogs, newsletters, all that stuff that we do as therapists, the additional stuff that we do when we're not seeing our clients to run our businesses. So I'm going to go through my Perplexity threads, and I just want to explain some of the top things that I'm doing every day. And again, I use this in every window, and a lot of times it's working for me while I'm doing other things because it's agentic. For example, let's see, Traveling Therapist Facebook group. You guys might be members of that group. This is an AI podcast, but I do run the Traveling Therapist Facebook group. I'm a digital nomad. I live in Airbnbs. I market a lot, right? So I will open the Perplexity browser in the Traveling Therapist Facebook group and ask it questions. For example, people post questions. I get like maybe 40 questions a day in that group that I've got to approve and answer as an admin if I want to be engaged in the group and that sort of thing. So what I've been doing with the Perplexity browser is I've uploaded a brand document about me. Perplexity knows everything about me. I open up the Traveling Therapist Facebook group. I open up my comment browser in the side window, and I say to it, here's all the questions like that I haven't approved yet. So it goes in and looks at the back end. It goes through and I say, I want you to answer all of these questions based on what you know about me and my brand guide and how I've answered previous questions in this group. Okay. So let's say I have 10 that haven't been approved yet. I give it that command and it takes over my screen. So it goes and does all of this for me, and I go out for a walk or, whatever, go eat lunch, that sort of thing, or go work on something else on my computer, and the browser is working for me. So it's going through, it's looking at everything I haven't approved yet. It can read my screen and everything, and then it's generating answers based on the prompt that I gave it. So it's looking at my brand guide. It's looking at, it'll like pop out of that screen and go into the main group and just look at how it answered other questions. It'll come back to that screen of unapproved questions. It answers all of these for me and then just writes them out for me. And it's like, here's how you should answer 1 through 10. And I go in, I'm like, okay, let me look at this, approve, go over, drop the answer in. Obviously, human oversight, right? I talk about this all the time on this podcast with AI. I've got to read it, right? I'm not just going to drop it and not think about it, because this browser, actually, I could give it a further command and say, go post those and answer it for me. Like, I could totally tell it to do that and it would do it all for me. And I wouldn't even have to be involved in the process, but I'm not that trusting yet. So I wouldn't do that, but I'll go over, it'll all be answered for me, and I will just go through real quick, read through, make sure it's okay, add a little Kim flair to it, answer the question, and move on to the next one. Approve the next one, do the same thing, rinse and repeat. That has saved me so much time. I cannot even tell you. That group has 30,000 members in it. There's a lot of questions, and, I want to be an engaged Facebook group owner and answer these questions myself. I just don't want to leave it to the community to answer all these without my input. So that's just one way. There's a million, but I'm going to give you a couple of just what I've done recently. In that same group, people will ask questions about living in an RV, right? I run the Traveling Therapist podcast. So I will open up the Traveling Therapist podcast page on my website. I'll open the assistant and I'll say, find me all the episodes. I'm at 200 episodes right now. Find me all the episodes that talk about living in RVs. Compile a list for me, give me the links to each episode, and write it out for me so I can pop it into my group. So if somebody wants to know about RVs, that's their question, and I know I've got a million of those episodes. I used to spend so much time just scrolling, like doing the Control F, trying to find the episodes, copy, paste, get the links, all that stuff. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. The browser does it for me. So that's another example. Then I have them all compiled in a nice, pretty list, copy, paste, put it in the Facebook group. Same for my emails. I get emails like that too, where it's like, I could help you, but you probably should just go listen to this podcast episode because it's super thorough and it's going to answer all your questions. What's another one? My dad, you guys might have heard me talk about my dad before, but he is in assisted living now. I've used AI a lot to help me manage because I had to get him into assisted living and I still manage his doctors and everything. His doctor, they switched portals, medical portals, right? And this portal, I swear to God, I was like staring at this thing. Maybe I was tired, staring at it for like 30 minutes. I could not figure out how to create a new account on this portal. It was so complicated. I opened up my Perplexity comment and said, can you figure out how I register with this portal? Literally went out to dinner, came back, and it had pulled it all up for me and like left the blanks. And the question it was waiting for, do you want me to fill this in based on what I know about you? Of course, I said no, because I needed to use my dad's information, like his email and date of birth and all that stuff. So I didn't do it, but that's one of the things that it had to do for me. Let's see what else. Oh, in the Clinical AI Club, we were talking about email management. So I said, let me show you how to use Perplexity in your email. So I went over to my Gmail account, which is sort of an old email address. I don't really use it anymore. And I gave it a command, something around like, I want you to find all of the emails that look like spam in here. I want you to identify them and delete them all out of my inbox. And while I was talking to the members, we went on to a different topic. I had it running in the background. That came back and you can watch its workflow, its thought process. So it's like talking out loud. It'll say like, oh, I've got to find all these things that meet this criteria. So it looks like it's, from a weird email address. Like it listed all the criteria to find spam. Went through and I just said for the last 2 weeks because, I don't want to like do it forever. And it went through, it found what I asked it to find it. You could see in the log that it highlighted the things that it found. It did the like mass check for all of the different companies that had sent emails, and it deleted a ton of emails out of my inbox. So that was just like with my junk mail, just trying to show a demonstration, but you can do that for anything in your inbox. If you open up the comment side window, the assistant with your email open in your main desktop, you can give it all kinds of instructions. Like, what are the emails I haven't answered today? I want you to go find them, draft a response based on what you know about me, and put them in my draft so I can come back later and send them. And of course, human oversight. I want to go and review them. Not everybody does that. Some people, have got their AI trained so much in their browser or whatever tool they're using for this, they just let it go. Find them, answer them, email them back. That scares me. I don't know if I could do that, but people do it. And, the answers are pretty good. I just tweak a little bit of things because I don't like how it says like this word versus this word. So I do spend a little bit of time tweaking that, but that is a total use case for this browser. There's no PHI. So again, remember, you're not doing this with your client emails at all. Anyway, that's a lot already that I've told you about. So I would give you a call to action today to go check out the Perplexity browser. Of course, I'll put a link down below under this. And of course, it's an affiliate link and, helps me, but you don't have to use that. Or just go to perplexity.ai and sign up. They've got a free version. I have upgraded twice now because I use it so much. I was running out of credits, basically daily usage limits I was running out. So I've updated it myself. But go over there, use the free version, install the browser. It's a browser. Install it and try some of the stuff that I've talked about. Or just if you find yourself like repeating the same behavior on your computer every day, I would challenge you to just think, is this something that Perplexity could handle for me, that the Comet browser could handle for me? Anything menial, like if you've got a VA that comes in and just does like repetitive tasks on your computer for you, this thing could probably do it for you. You don't have to pay your VA to do it. Sorry to the VAs out there, but this is how, AI is taking over a lot of those jobs. It can do all of that for you. So I challenge you, try it, go test it out, play with it a little bit, and just anything you're doing, because I'm still learning every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a second, could I have my browser do this for me? And it's like, yes, I probably could. So I'll try it and I'll be like, can you do blah, blah, blah? And yeah, lo and behold, it does it. Another example, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I have a YouTube channel. It is not SEO optimized in the back. Like you're supposed to add tags and, use keywords and do all this stuff. And I have something called vidIQ that I pay for that's in there that's supposed to give me tips and stuff. But it's still super time consuming because I have to like click on the vidIQ suggestions. I have to see what it says. And then it gives me all these tags. And then I've got to go down and enter each tag in. It's extremely time consuming. And it's something I used to pay somebody to do. And, that fell way off. And I even get emails all the time from like podcast SEO or YouTube SEO experts. And they're like, hey, Kim, we noticed that you've got all this content, but it's not doing very well. And every time I'm like, oh, that's because I haven't put any of the stuff in. The other day, I went into my browser. I gave it the command, I want you to optimize all of these listings essentially for SEO optimization. Use the vidIQ tips and tutorials that are listed in here because it's kind of like a template overlay that's inside of the back end of the YouTube studio. It changed the title. It went in and like, the notes. If you have a YouTube channel or if you've ever seen one, there's like always this content, right? That you've got to like make look pretty. You've got to add links, emojis, all that stuff. It changed all of that for me, where before it was just like a big blob of text. It changed all that. It took into account like what the title was and the keywords that would be better, and it rewrote the content for whatever, whatever it was looking at the time. It rewrote the content to make it SEO optimized with the keywords. And then it went down to the tags section. You can have up to 500 characters of tags, which I mean, that's a lot. That could be like 30 or 40 tags that you're like having to type in. It did it all for me in like 2 seconds. It had all the tags listed and they were totally relevant and based on like the vidIQ suggestions. So much time, so much money. I used to pay her, what did I pay her? Like $25 an hour to do SEO optimization. And that's all she was doing, is using my vidIQ and doing that background stuff. And I just knocked out about 20 of those videos one night sitting watching TV. I had the assistant doing it for me. And it just, after it completes each one, it saves it, and it even puts in the little like chat box. Okay, are we ready to optimize the next one? I'm like, yes, we are. So I go out and I go in to optimize the next one. It's just, I don't even know how to express how cool it is. So go check it out. Anyway, hope you had a great week. This is Run My Private Practice with AI. If there's any topics you want me to talk about, or you want to know more about, let me know. And I will give you more information about anything you're looking to hear about. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.